Sorry, I'm live. Peace. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Peace. I don't know if the chat's on. Alright, it is cool. So, you can hear? Great. Last video I did for the women, this is for the women part 2. I went over how to take apart a Glock, how to clean it, firearm safety, and the conditions. I also went over the rifle. I have a Ruger 5.56, and I went over some body armor, and I said I was going to do a video on my shotgun next, so you know how to break down a shotgun. This is a Mossberg 930. I always get confused with the 930 and the I think 590. But this is a 930. It's a semi-automatic. As you can tell, there's no pump, so every time you shoot, when you pull the trigger, it feeds itself, so it goes through a cycle of operation, takes a shell and puts it in the chamber so you don't have to pump it. This holds 7+1, so you put 7 into the magazine tube, which is right here. It's in the handguard, but this right here is the magazine tube. And then the +1 is when you rack it back and you put a shell in. So of course, anytime you're gonna take apart your shotgun or any firearm, you always wanna make sure it's clear and that it's safe. This particular shotgun is loaded because it's in the house. So all you gotta do is make sure that the bolt is forward. You slide this up, and then there's a little button. Well, not necessarily a button, but for this one, you just hold this up and you press this button, which basically lets the bolt forward and makes it so that the shells can come out. So you just hold it up. Always make sure it's on safe. When it's red, that means you're dead, right? You see that little red button? That means it's not on safe. When it's down like that, you don't see red, it's on safe.
Red, you're dead.
Yeah, red, you're dead. So you just lift this up, press this release, hold it so they don't just fly out. And as you can see, they just come out.
Are those fireworks?
Nah, these are actual slugs.
Do you want to show them what they look like?
I already showed them. I went like that, yeah. I think that's all I had in there. Just always make sure you double and triple check, which that is the stopper. And then to make sure that there's nothing in the chamber, literally just pull it back like that. Obviously you can see there's nothing in there. Do your visual inspection, nothing in there. I always like to do it a few more times just to make sure, right? Then to take this apart, it's pretty simple. You start by unscrewing this, and you have to be careful unscrewing the magazine. You have to be careful because there's a spring in here, and it will shoot out. The spring is what holds these in pressurized, and then every time you let one out, the spring expands. Yeah, sometimes it's difficult to put back in as well as to take out. All right. So as you can see, the spring kind of just already came out. It's pretty long. All right. It's really long. Then you take this little handguard off, just like that, simple. All right, so it should look like this. What you're looking at, this is the magazine tube that the shells go in, right? Then, you basically just slide the barrel off. Literally just pull it off, just like that. Then you take these pieces off. Everything just slides off. Then to take the bolt out, I'm not gonna do that because I don't have my little hammer and screw. But just like when I showed you with the AR, you just push these 2 pins right here. You put your little screwdriver here, you tap it, the pins fall out. Then you just slip this little piece out. It literally just slips out. Literally, like there's no nothing really holding it. It just slips out, and then the whole bolt just slides forward. There's a piece you need to make sure it doesn't slip out, which I kind of just, let me see. There we go. I'm not gonna take it out because it gets a little complicated. It's not really complicated. It's just I don't feel like dealing with it. And that's basically it. Literally, that's it. And the same way to clean it with the Q-tips and a little brush, same way. And then always just do your visual inspection on your barrel to make sure there's no carbon in it, which you'll be able to see like little grains of powder. And that's basically it. That's it. That's it. And then to put it back, it gets a little complicated when you take the barrel out. Just because the way it has to be seated. But other than that, it's not difficult to take apart at all. And it's not difficult to put back either. Oops, I'm doing it wrong. As I do it wrong right in your face. Sleep is the cousin of death. This is where it gets tedious because all the pieces have to fit right back in like a puzzle. This is also why you want to wait to clean your stuff if you're in a combat situation, just because. Now this is the hard part, putting the spring back in. It's literally the worst part because it's so long and and literally, as soon as you let go, the spring will shoot out. That's why I hate taking this thing apart. So what I'm trying to do is take the spring and put this on it to help push it in. Like that. All right, and slip your finger out the way. Oh, I forgot to put this on. See? Look at me messing up. What?
So guess what else I'm gonna get you? But you have to show me which one it is.
What is that? I don't know what's on.
Let me see that's the one.
You're distracting me.
There, get out. I gotta get the right size. It's this right here. 2 3/4.
There we go. And as usual, Bear's here to help. Right, Bear? Good boy. Back up. Back up. Good boy. You got your ball? You're helping? You being a good boy? You stink. What?
I figured it out. Should I do 25 rounds for that price or 5 rounds for that price?
I usually do the 25 rounds.
I figured.
Then after you, of course, put your shotgun back together, after you clean it, Fed's still on you? Nobody's on me. Of course, again, like I said last time, after you put any of your firearms back together, you have to do a functions check. It's very important because last time I let someone clean my shotgun and I was doing a function check and I realized something was wrong because when I would put the safety on, the trigger would still fall. Then I realized he lost the firing pin, pivoting pin, which was a small piece that cost 3 notes, but you could only get it from a gunsmith, which ended up costing 60 notes because they had to do the labor too. So that's why it's important to put all the small pieces, like I said, on an elevated position where they're secluded and you don't lose them. So for this shotgun to do a functions check, make sure it's on safe, pull the trigger, nothing should happen, right? Put it on fire, pull it, you should hear that click. Reset the trigger, put it back on safe, pull it, nothing should happen. And that's basically it. That's it. Then what I do is have the slugs and the birdshot. So what the birdshot does, it shoots like a bunch of small pellets and it sprays it at you. This is literally this big ass ball coming at you. So I put these in first and this in last. So my first shot is spraying you in the face to back you up. And then the next shot is fatal. So you get a warning. And then if you don't heed the warning, you get a slug for free. To load it, you have to make sure the bolt's forward. Literally just push them in like that. And that's it. I don't have it loaded to the capacity because, you know, the spring, once it's compressed, if it's compressed for a long time, like it's just sitting there for a long time, and you don't ever release the pressure by taking the rounds out, the spring can permanently get compressed and then it won't function properly. So I never keep it fully loaded while it's, you know, in its idle position. But it's easy to load and it's easy to, you know, make ready if there's an intrusion at your door, if there's a bump in the night, someone's trying to hurt your family, something like that. You literally just pull the charging handle, and when it's loaded, it's not gonna lock to the rear. It's just automatically gonna cycle. Just literally switch the safety off and then engage, right? So I have this verified, hold on. Sorry. I have this verified red dot. Right. This was like 60 notes at a gun store that I went to.
Wait, listen.
I'll try to show you what it looks like when you turn it on. That's a red dot right there. I don't know if you can see that, but the red dot just turned on, right? And it adjusts. It will adjust the brightness too. You see that? Then it'll eventually turn off. Then it'll turn green. Right, then the adjustments, the brightness will adjust, right, and then it'll turn off again, and then it'll turn red. All right, so you literally just turn this, where it says 0, that means it's off, where it says 1, that means it's on the first brightness, 2 is the second brightness, 3 is the third brightness, 4 is the fourth brightness, 5 is the maximum brightness, then 0, then 5 for the, you know, the fifth brightness of the green. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And that's basically it. And of course it has the iron sights that it came with. Right here. Sorry. It has the iron sights. So if this breaks, literally just unscrew it right here. And then use the rear sight aperture and the front sight post right here. And that's basically it. Then I got this sling on Amazon. It's not the best sling, but it's better than nothing. That's it. I think I got this for like 12 notes off Amazon. And that's the basics to any firearm. They're all basically the same. It's not complicated. None of it's complicated. It's just at first, if you don't know, it can seem intimidating. It can seem scary, but it's not. Let me make sure this is off so the battery don't die. All right. Like I said in my last video, my other video, people get hurt by not knowing things like the safety rules. You know, first rule is treat every weapon as if it were loaded. The next rule is, you know, never point your firearm at anything you do not intend to shoot. Keep your finger straightened off the trigger until you're ready to fire. Keep your weapon on safe until you intend to fire. Know your target and what lies beyond it. Since I have, obviously this is not a magazine inserted firearm, but the tube is called a magazine tube. So since there's rounds in it, it's condition 3. There's no round in the chamber. If there was a round in the chamber, it would be condition 1. If there was no shells in it at all, it would be condition 4. Obviously, the only way to tell is to visually inspect it, as opposed to a rifle or a pistol. You can actually see the magazine inserted. And that's basically it. Any questions? Let me see if I can see some questions. Peace. You say you want a demo with a 9? I have a 40. Juju! Can you get your pistol?
Yeah.
Birdshot, buckshot like Dave Chappelle, yeah. We don't want what happened to Fred Hampton to happen to you. Well, only way to stop that is to stop Dirty Moors from infiltrating. What happened to Fred Hampton was there was a Moor at his front door, at the front door, on guard with a shotgun. There was an agent amongst the Black Panthers who was paid 300 Federal Reserve notes to give the FBI and the Chicago police a layout of Fred Hampton's house, to cook his food, to drug him, and then that eventually led to the FBI and the Chicago police murdering him. But if you teach everyone in the house how to shoot, you know, there won't be just one more on guard. So if there's any agents, you know, everyone will be armed. Doesn't matter how long the rounds are. Yes, I'm looking at my shotgun right now because normally it says it on the shotgun what kind of shells your shotgun takes. Yeah, it says it right here. I'll show you. It says it right here. Right there is the type of shell in the inch that it takes. Right there.
You want to show them hollows?
I think I showed them. Yeah, I'll show them hollows.
Everything?
Well, on your 9? Oh.
And I have the stick.
Oh yeah, the stick. So I'm gonna show you her Glock. Her Glock is they call it modular. Modular just means you can change it, right? So let me turn back around. Get out the way, Bear. Stay. Sit. This is hers. This is a Glock 27. This is a compact. Can you get mine so I can show them? Yeah, it's upstairs. I brought this for her without a license. She's newly licensed to bear arms from the gun store. All right, make sure it's safe. Don't shoot myself on camera like an idiot, right? This is a Glock 27. She has conversion barrels so that she can shoot 9mm, which is this right here. This is a hollow point 9mm.
Tell them what happens to the hollows.
Hold on. And she can also shoot 40s like mine. So she can shoot 40s. She can shoot these, and 357. All you have to do to be able to do that right now, she has a 9mm barrel in. all you have to do is take it apart like I showed y'all last time, put in the 40mm barrel. That's literally it. And then she can literally use my magazines and her Glock and shoot the same caliber rounds I have. Literally. She has a 22, I mean a 27, I have a 22. So you can kind of see the size difference right there. Right. But they're basically the same. They almost weigh the same too. Hers kind of feels a little more heavy because it's smaller. So you kind of have to have that weight to deal with the recoil. She also has, what is this, 10 round magazines and 25 round magazines.
Oh, I have a bunch more upstairs.
Right.
I have about like 100 and something rounds for that Glock.
No, I mean just for the 9. For the 9. Right. So this is what it looks like.
I know, I have a lot more.
The
They're all loaded up
25.
there.
That's how ridiculous it looks with the 25. This is the magazines that it came with. That's how it looks. And it has a little thing right here for your pinky because it's small. It's a small firearm. And hers has fiber optic sights on the front sight post. So at night, literally in darkness, you can see this.
It glows in the dark.
So she can shoot in the dark. But it has the regular iron sight, front sight post, rear sight aperture. It's unloaded, that's why I'm pointing it this way. I already know it's unloaded. But I'm just doing it so you can see. And that's it. It literally comes apart just like mine. There's really, the only difference is the size and the fact that she has 3 different barrels with, I already showed them that, with 3 different magazines that she can, well, 3 different caliber magazines that she can use for her Glock. She wants me to show you the the hollow points, because I guess she's obsessed with it.
I love them. Because these go through clean.
Yeah, so the difference between, they're both 9mm. They're both 9s. The difference between this one and this one is this one does more internal damage to whatever you're shooting at. So what happens is this is flying at you, and then since there's a hole in it, on impact, it'll break apart. You know, basically turn it to shrapnel and do all types of damage to organs. This just goes straight through. So this has more stopping power. So if someone's on drugs, trying to break into your house, and they're all coked up or whatever the new synthetic drug is nowadays, which they're making cannabis synthetic now. A lot of times you'll see on video people who are high on drugs, they don't really feel pain. So if this goes through them, it just went straight through them. But if this hits them, this is stopping them, right? And this is the difference between a 9mm and a 40. Right? I mean, it's not that much of a difference. It's just the 9 is traveling a lot faster. This is traveling a lot slower, which means it has more stopping force because it's slower and it's flatter. You know what I'm saying? So it's basic physics, you know. And of course, all the barrels are rifled. All that means when you hear someone say the barrel is rifled, it just means that the barrel has spirals in it, which makes the bullet spin while it's traveling through the barrel, which makes it go further and faster. So you see those grooves in there right there? That's how you know that your barrel is rifled. So imagine the bullet going in there and then it's spinning. While it's spinning, it's literally gaining velocity so it can go further and faster. Most like modern barrels are rifled just because it's more effective. I'm pretty sure my shotgun is rifled too. A lot of shotguns are also rifled because, like I said, it's a very modern thing. I shouldn't say modern, but it's a very effective thing to do to barrels to make the bullet go further and further and faster. And that's basically it. Basically it. Don't be like the dummies in the rap videos doing all of this crap. That doesn't mean anything, nor does it do anything. I'll look at the questions in a little bit. Let me just put all these rounds back. Now I'm out there answering some questions. If I can pop it up. I don't know if there's oil on my finger. There we go. Peace. Can we use negotiable instruments? I have a book on negotiable instruments. Of course. Let me see. Where was I? What's up with the government up there? Are y'all in quarantine? No. There's literally everyone's outside. The only thing that's different is they're making people wear masks to take the bus, and they're making people wait in lines outside the store to get in. Other than that, you know, and besides restaurants being closed, they're only doing takeout. Other than that, I've been seeing people walk outside, walking their dogs, playing with their children. They're literally forcing everyone to be regular parents now instead of abandoning their children. I'm not on quarantine. I leave the house whenever I want. It's just I'm naturally a homebody. I get that from my mom because I am with what my foremothers and forefathers are. You have to like the video to set the algorithms to show the next live. Peace. Yeah, her gun came with conversion barrels, and you just literally I bought it. It was hers was 675 notes, which we did the math, and just the 3 barrels alone would have been 500 notes. And it came with the Glock itself, the 3 barrels, 4 magazines per barrel, and a holster, and the case for 675, which was a deal. Because mine was used for 80 or 5 something like that. That's why I keep telling y'all more to come out here, because you don't need a license to buy a firearm out here, which now they're trying to change. But before I open up my mouth, I mean, right now it's still like that. How can you go about purchasing firearms in free national name? So to get my firearm, all they need is an ID with a mailing address, and then you fill out the state and federal background check forms. And on the federal background check form, it'll ask you if you're a U.S. citizen. You'll put no. Then it'll ask you for your USCIS number, which would be the AA number. They scan your ID, they do the background check, and that's it. And literally, the guy at the store told me I got flagged every single time. They told me I got flagged every time, but they didn't tell them why. And they still allowed me to get them, obviously. Someone said I've been kicking it hard outside. China called in all debts. That's not what this video is about. Yeah, that was the deal. All right, Morris, since there's no questions, unless anyone has any questions about the shotgun, which it's not that complicated. None of these firearms are complicated. That's basically it. I got nothing else. Peace.